guys, this is KO with the On the Table podcast, and I've been keeping up, kind of loosely keeping up with the controversy going on with Steven Crowder and Carlos Meza, I believe, and the back, the repercussions of the spat between them two. I'm apprehensive to say, but I feel like it could have an effect on new YouTubers like myself and others, but that is to be seen. I've been watching other people's takes on the situation. I feel like, as always, not always, but, sometimes he's off, but in my opinion, I feel like Joe Rogan has a good grasp on the situation and what's really going on. I think, from my opinion, from what I've seen so far, is that YouTube does have a little bit of a left-wing bias. Joe Rogan even said he talked to one of the executives at YouTube, and they said that basically, she confirmed it. It was like a CEO or something, and he brings that story up, and he's gonna bring that up in the clip in the video I'm about to play. The clip from JRE Clips. Hopefully I don't get flagged or my page doesn't, get damaged from this. But, I mean, this is what I want to do. So if it does, then so be it. It's fine. I'll start up a new page. I'm only going to have like 3 followers at first. So, you guys stick around if you like what I'm talking about. I'm going to set up a Patreon eventually. But until then, this is me. Let's start this thing off. Let's get the gist. I'll be pausing it at some points to have some commentary, so I definitely don't get flagged.
He's gay. His Twitter handle is gay wonk. Right?
Carlos Maza.
Yeah, so it's not that he's hiding that he's gay. Talks about it all the time. He's kind of effeminate, and Steven Crowder mocked that. And he mocked that in these videos where he was criticizing Carlos's position on Antifa, specifically what I saw. And in doing that, he called him this queer Mexican.
Now, I've seen Steven do that on other topics and stuff. Like sometimes he's a bit of an asshole, but I believe that he deserves some slack because he's a provocateur. He's a comedian, and the comedian is I watch Jonathan Piaget or whatever. I can't remember his name, but Jonathan Piaget. I'll show you his page later, but he goes through the symbolism of everything. He was talking about the whole clown world thing. That's a new thing. Not really a new thing, but the clown world thing, that's a thing on YouTube where they talk about, what they believe is craziness that goes on in society. The jester has always been a person who could tell the truth to the king without being killed. He has to be able to tell you jokes, and jokes, as you may or may not know, to be funny, have to contain some of the truth. A little bit of the truth. When you tell a joke, the part that people are laughing at is they thinking to themselves, yeah, that's actually true. That's right. That black people are really like that. Or white people really are like that. So if Carlos Meza on his Twitter handle is proclaiming to be gay, and if in videos he's proclaiming to be, I'm a gay Mexican, this is my identity, then that's fine. But I feel like you can't censor everyone and say you can't bring up the fact that I'm gay and I'm Mexican, even though I run with that all day long. That's like me being like, I'm black, but you can't talk about the fact that I'm black because that's racist. No, but I could kind of let's see what the other guy has to say about it, because I kind of agree with him, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know. Let's see.
Doing it in a ribbing way. He's doing it in a joking way. And then Carlos Maza posts all these horrible tweets that came his way, and apparently he got doxxed, so people got his phone, and they were saying debate Steven Crowder. He was getting all these text messages in, and all this hateful
That
stuff
seems
that was
terrible
coming
he
his
got
way.
his contacts out there, but that seems like a good idea. Like, if I am of the mindset that ideas are what should enter the arena of combat and not people, because once things get, I'm a peaceful person, and I always want to advocate for peace, because I believe that once violence gets involved, it only escalates, and then it turns into war eventually. It will literally turn into war, and that's what's going on out here in these streets. It's like something happened to somebody's cousin, and then somebody shot somebody else, and then somebody just, and then it just keeps ramping up. So I feel like with ideas, if people aren't sensitive about their ideas and they understand that when your ideas fall, that gives you a chance to fortify your point of view rather than living in ignorance, which, if you're ignorant of the obstacles that are coming towards you, then you're bound to fall into them. Then it makes sense. You have to be able to observe the world from a different point of view than just your own sometimes, but
So the question is, who is responsible for that hateful stuff? If Steven Crowder calls him queer, what is queer? Okay, is LBGTQ? What do we do there? What do we do if the Q is in? Is it okay to call someone gay who identifies as gay? If he calls him the gay little Mexican, is that bad? Like, how bad is that? Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? But
So,
do you feel what I'm saying here? It's like,
I know where you're getting at. Let's zoom out a little bit.
Right.
And then we'll get into this.
Okay.
Man, where do you even start with this? Because there's
Right,
a lot,
that's
there's a
where
lot to
I'm
unpack
at.
here.
Right.
If we'll analyze the specifics in a second,
Okay.
maybe. But first, if you look at
the N-word
the
is a unique thing, because black people have a unique, to me, this is my opinion, I feel like black people have a unique experience in America and in America's history. That's why I feel like some of us can rightfully say that we don't want other people saying the N-word, But I feel like at the same time, that's kind of hypocritical. If all of the music and all of the culture, if people admire us so much that they let us basically run a majority of the culture and a majority of our athletes and everybody, they say the N-word, and they come from the hood and everything, it's like, that's going to proliferate into society. And you can't get mad when little white kids or little Mexican kids want to say it just off some being cool type shit, I feel like as long as, this is my policy on the N-word, as long as if you're of another race and you're saying the word and you're not saying it in a way that you're trying to hurt my feelings or you're trying to offend me, if I feel like you're using that as an insult, then I might be offended. I'm not going to be forced to take action or anything. I'm just going to be like, damn, that fool's ignorant, and I'm going to just keep moving. But I feel like other black people who may not be as, compassionate as me, they might hear you say that and have a violent response. So I feel like when you say that word, you're taking the responsibility in your hands for what happens next, my guy. It's like, if let's say Jewish people had a word that they call each other and it used to be a slur, and you just walk up to them and you say it, it's like, and there's no background, there's no context to there's no rapport built between you and them, then I feel like they low-key possibly have a right to be offended. But it's kind of gray area, because the N-word is unique. But this guy's about to use it. This guy's about to use it. Watch.
see the terms of service of YouTube. There's a Verge article from yesterday, a few days ago, earlier this week, before YouTube had made the decision to demonetize Steven Crowder.
Well, they made the decision to not act. And
Initially.
to say that it didn't violate the
Right.
terms of services. And then today, as I got in here, Jamie informed me that they made a decision to demonetize.
That's right. So in the article where they made the decision not to act, they actually put what YouTube's terms of service are with regard to bullying and harassment. My reading of it, and we could go through them, if we could pull them up, we could go through it line by line if we wanted. My reading was that that definitely did break the terms and conditions. That was my view as I looked at what it was that was done by Steven Crowder and what the terms of service are. Just matching it up, not looking at the comments from either
What was
person.
it specifically?
It was specifically targeting an individual on the basis of sexual orientation.
But he wasn't targeting him on the basis of it. He was mentioning that with his bad ideas.
I'd say
he was targeting his bad ideas.
Targeted his bad ideas, and then he threw in there as a caveat, this guy proclaims to be gay, so that means he's gonna fall on certain ideological side of viewpoints of society's problems or what society's going through. He's gonna have that lens, but Stephen Crowder is a bit of an ass, so he's an ass. He's a provocateur, which I like. I like that about him.
Regards to Antifa.
A lot of
that he was dismissing Antifa, but if you look at Crowder's video, and I can't believe I spent so much time doing this, but I spent like a whole hour on this 2 days ago.
Yeah.
He was talking about how Carlos just dismisses Antifa as being not that big a deal, and that there's bias in the media whenever there's anything negative that happens. But if you look at the overall picture, and then Crowder goes on to talk about all the assaults, all the murders, that there was sexual assaults, there was rapes, there was all these things that happened with Antifa. He was talking about all these different people that got maced in the face, all these people that got hurt, and he's highlighting all, like, this is not something to easily dismiss, and that the FBI had labeled Antifa a terrorist organization.
So far it's just politics. It's just what does he think, what do I think? So far
it's just that part of it, and along the way he's like, yeah, but the queer little Latino says this.
Yeah.
And when he does that, that's where it's like, okay, what is he doing? Is he he's kind of mocking him, right? And he's mocking him by saying he's queer, but he says he's queer, or he says he's gay.
Yeah, but that's like saying, listen, just because the N-word is in rap songs doesn't mean that that it'd be fine to go and...
Right, but the N-word is not in, like, it's not like the LBGTN. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a part of their organ.
It's not our... We don't use that in, our... It's not nigga lives matter. It was black lives matter, So, I don't know about that argument, my guy. Like, I don't know. Activists aren't using the N-word like that to define themselves. But gay people use, queer and other words to define themselves, which is cool, That's your right, your prerogative, or whatever they say. Do you. I can't be mad at you for that.
I think the principle, though, is you're suggesting that because a certain word is sometimes used self-referentially by members of a group, that any use of it from the outside is, by definition, not problematic. And I'm just saying it's more complicated, and you've got to look at the
it's certainly more complicated. You do
and
have to look
at
specifics.
I'm going from memory, but wasn't Steven Crowder also wearing a shirt that said fags with the A with an asterisk?
Figs. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It said socialism is for figs.
Okay.
And it has
While he's calling a gay guy.
A is a fig instead of an I.
As he's calling a gay guy a queer Mexican.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
In total, it's not crazy.
No. He's not calling a gay guy a queer Mexican. That gay guy refers to himself as those things. That's like me being called KO, which is my name. Someone else calling me KO as it refers to a case of me knocking someone the fuck out or something. And they're like, well, KO, this guy KO, you get me? Knock that guy out. That's my fault for referring to myself as KO. I could at least go with something else, It's my right to go to be known as that name or to put that name out, I can't back off that when someone uses it against me, But I feel like there's a lot of sensitivity nowadays, and it just later on in the conversation they talk about if YouTube has a left-wing bias, and I believe that it does, because if conservatives cry out about something, which they won't and they never will, they're just gonna, conservatives are believing your behavior dictates what happens in your life or whatnot. You can't cry about what other people think or whatever. I believe that's loose. That's a loose interpretation. But it just seems like whenever the liberals or the left or the media gets mad about something, things get done. Things change quickly, you know. But like if we reverse the roles here and we made this a conservative guy who's getting harassed, it wouldn't even be news. I believe you wouldn't even hear about it, you know. So that's my video, you guys. Subscribe, you know, like, share. It will help me out. It'll help my family. You know, I'm gonna be trying to feed my family with these videos. You know, so if y'all like it, share it. All right, y'all. Next video. Deuces.